And hypnotherapy wasn't allowed in this charity because of the fact that we worked with people who were abused in their childhood. So a lot of the people I work with are females in menopausal, sort of around that menopausal state where
Or
they
do they?
feel, yeah.
They need therapy, all right. They certainly do.
Somebody who'd had that experience, if they then went to court after they'd had hypnotherapy, it would be
What is
thrown out of court because if we've got an emotional decision or a conscious decision, emotion wins every time. Work with somebody, I send them a recording to help them relax and get used to my voice.
okay.
And before I've even seen them, they feel better and they get better night's sleep already before they've even seen me. So
That's good. You're probably bored the fuck
yeah,
out of them.
absolutely. Yeah, hypnotherapy can help with sports people. It can help them succeed. Give them. I don't just help them ease the life for today. I help them and give them skills to last their lifetime. I mean, Paul McKenna made a living out of ridiculing people on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Entrepreneur Insights. And this week's guest, we have the wonderful Lynn, who I've had the pleasure of meeting quite a few times. And God, I'm looking forward to this podcast.
And I've had the pleasure of meeting you too, Peter.
Lynn, how are you doing,
Hi.
sweetie? How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Always
Okay,
good. Always good to catch up with you.
okay, that's
Always make
brilliant.
me smile.
Well, that's why you haven't put your surname down there, but that's not the problem because we're here for your work and what you do. First of all, tell us what
Absolutely.
tell us what you do. Tell us the name of your company and tell us what you do, and then we'll get into it after.
Okay, okay. So my company I've called Transformazing, because I work with the mind and body and help people transform their lives. And it's a lot of the time I see it in front of my very eyes when I'm working with them. So it actually is amazing to have that result at that time and see the benefits straight away. It's a wonderful skill to have, and I'm blessed to have found this way of working. So it's using hypnotherapy, embodiment work, lots of different meditations, and I don't just help them ease the life for today. I help them and give them skills to last their lifetime. So it's not just a one fix wonder. It's a lifetime of benefit for them.
Cool. Let's break down this hypnotherapist stuff. What is involved in hypnotherapy? Hmm.
Basically, hypnotherapy is accessing the subconscious mind through helping the person to relax into what you call an alpha state, which is the bit before you go to sleep. You often, if you've got a baby and you're comforting them, you often see the baby eyes flickering like that, and that's just before they go off to sleep. And that state, we often find ourselves in that state on a regular basis. I mean, driving somewhere and getting somewhere and not remembering how you've got there is often because our subconscious mind has driven us there. Our conscious mind's gone drifting off somewhere else. So it can be as simple as that. We just are in an alpha state quite a lot, even if we're not asleep. We can be. If we've got an emotional decision or a conscious decision, emotion wins every time.
Right, right.
So when we're in that alpha state, we can use that to access the subconscious mind, that is the emotional part of our mind that has more control over our way of. So it's in control of a lot of things,
Mm.
basically.
Wow. Okay. And you've turned this into a business, all right? But before
Yeah.
we get to that point, what was you doing before you did hypnotherapist and transformation?
So I've been a therapeutic counsellor for years,
Wow.
and so working with people one to one for um, you know a fair few months, sometimes years, to help them, and knowing that I felt like there was something missing. But I worked for a company, I've worked for a charity
Okay.
at the time, and hypnotherapy wasn't allowed in this charity because of the fact that we worked with people who were abused in their childhood. And because of the old-fashioned, outdated belief that said that there was false memory syndrome activated by hypnotherapy, somebody who'd had that experience, if they then went to court after they'd had hypnotherapy, it would be thrown out of court, because they would suggest that having hypnotherapy has provided them with a false memory of a childhood event. If
Wow,
that
that's
makes
deep.
sense,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
So,
Yeah, that's deep.
so
So,
when I didn't engage with hypnotherapy while I was working for the charity, because of that. And it was only when I left and realised how amazing it was that I thought, I need to do this. I need to do this. And when I started doing it, it was like, I really want to make a difference. So it's it's a business that I want to change lives, but
we'll,
also
we'll,
obviously, yeah.
we'll get onto the business side of things, because I'm quite interested. Now, the people that you help in the trade that you do, all right, are they from all different types of backgrounds, suffering from all different types of things, or is it a specific area that you home in on?
Right. So I have worked with lots of different people for lots of different things, but generally, because of the fact that I know what it's like to go through anxiety and suffer with anxiety that was debilitating, I've decided that that's what I want to help with, people who get to a certain stage in their lives and find themselves very anxious and not realizing that there's an alternative way of being, and feeling stuck in that anxiety. Often it's connected with the menopause and that sort of time. So a lot of the people I work with are females in menopausal, sort of around that menopausal state,
Or
where they
do they?
feel, yeah.
They need therapy, all right. They certainly do. Did I just say that? Anyway, but yeah, carry on. You work with a lot of females.
Absolutely. They need to know a better way, for definite. And, resigning themselves to thinking it's an age thing and they've got to put up with it for the rest of their life is pretty hard work, isn't it? So to give them an opportunity to feel better for the rest of their life is a gift. That I just feel like I need to keep giving. I mean, there's lots of other things that I can work with and have worked with. I've helped people who've had problems with physical health and been able to help them with their physical health as well. So it's a really brilliant way of
Mm.
working.
How do you handle the emotional side of things? I mean, do you take on board some of the, because you probably have some in-depth conversations with your clients. Do you ever take it on board, and how do you deal with it? Because I'm sure you might need some therapy yourself, because they always say that therapists need therapy.
Yeah, they do actually. It's always advisable to have somewhere to go for supervision, sort of, just to make sure that you're working with somebody correctly and appropriately. When I was a counsellor, that was a definite, because of the caseload that we were working with, obviously, the sexual abuse of children. Obviously they were adults by the time we worked with them, but that in itself, you need to protect yourself and look after you, because it's called vicarious trauma. You can even suffer with vicarious trauma by watching something on the TV, especially when there's something really horrific going on in the world. And, obviously you get the reporters giving you those reports live from somewhere or whatever, and they can be, you can be affected just by watching something like that. So sure, there's going to be times when something has an impact on you. Maybe it's something that you haven't dealt with yourself, that you need, it sort of brings something up that you perhaps haven't completely dealt with yourself. So you need to make sure that you look after yourself, for definite.
Okay, yeah, because I tell you what, I get I don't like watching movies in closed areas. Like there was a movie set in a film where it was someone was buried underground in a coffin and they couldn't get out, but they're getting pipes to breathe. I'm claustrophobic. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a phobia or something that's happened in the past. I don't know. Is that part of something that you would deal with and find out where it's come from? because I do suffer from
Absolutely, what the way that we work in the way I work is to go back to scenes that are all to help you understand why you've developed this part of you that's protecting you, and help you to go back and reframe that belief that you developed from whatever age you were. It's an old, outdated belief. It's something that you can reframe and look at it differently with an adult mind, and you can make it better for yourself. It depends how much you want to be rid of it as well. If it's something that you put up with and think, I'd rather not bother dealing with it, I'd rather be in this situation, which a lot of people tend to do. But I think the fear of going in hypnosis is quite. A lot of people do struggle with actually going into hypnosis. They're frightened of it. I think because of the likes of, Paul McKenna made a living out of ridiculing people on stage at one point.
Yeah.
He's now helping soldiers with PTSD. He's
Right.
completely changed he's reframed his work.
Mindset.
Yeah. But with that in mind, when people see that can happen, then they don't think they've got any free will to be able to. If I was to take somebody into hypnosis, then I would be in control, which is not true.
So what happens then? Do you like cast a spell on me or something? Hey, and then I fall asleep, and then you reveal all the secrets to my exes. Oh, he's got money. No, well, how does it work? What do you do?
Yeah, it's basically just inducing you into that alpha state. Let's face it, just by somebody talking boringly enough, you'd probably go into the alpha state anyway, wouldn't you? I'll just bore you, and then you'll go into the alpha state.
Okay. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but you just you can. I can do it in lots of different ways. I've learned so many different ways of inducing somebody into that alpha state that it's just really helping that person to feel relaxed enough and know and trust you that when you do that, you go in there for a united reason. You're going into that alpha state to help them rather than to ridicule them or to take advantage of them. And I've only ever had it once where somebody went into hypnosis and she came back out of it after talking to me about scenes that came up for her to help us understand why she felt like she did. She was having panic attacks and everything. And when she came out, she said, "How did I do?" She hadn't got a recall of actually anything that she said to me, which was the first time ever that I've had that.
She just thinks it was normal. Nothing happened.
She didn't even know. She didn't know that she'd actually said anything to me. Yeah.
I bet men don't really like being around you, Lynn. or your husband's sleeping, his eyes open. Oh, what's going on? Just in case. So okay, this is great stuff. And then so you decided to make it into a business. It was a light bulb moment, or was it, or just a gradual process?
I think it was more of a gradual process. It was. I trained with a lady called Marissa Peer who does RTT, and she said straight away you should be, doing it, and you should always ask for an energy exchange. There should always be if you're giving something, you need something back in return. So it needs to become a business, really. Wow. So that's how it started. And I really did it very softly because I was working already. I wasn't particularly working in anything that I was enjoying. It was working for my husband, who actually has got a catering business. Yeah. And so I just said, right, I'm going to do it. This is it. I'm going to, just concentrate on me and working with people and helping them and making it a business. And then I just needed help.
Right.
So
okay.
This is why I've joined big business. But in joining big business, I've worked with. I've developed a group session now. So I've just on the 9th week of a 10-week group program to help females live their best life, from anxiety, overwhelm, chaotic, forensic life, to feeling calm, in control, and having the ability to live a better life. And they're on week 9. Next week is the last week, and a lot of them are just saying how much they've enjoyed it already. So lots
Okay.
of light bulb moments and everything.
So that means the next time I meet the people around you, they should all be calm, no fans, just nice and calm because they've been under your guidance.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely, always.
So what is entailed in the business? Because it's all right just saying you're a hypnotherapist and that's it, and you just do a client. How does one contact you, and then what can you do for the person type thing? Does that make sense to
Okay.
you? Mm.
Yeah, so I do Facebook posts to explain a little bit about certain things and help people understand it a little bit more. I'm on. I've got a website. I've obviously got contacts on Facebook as well, and social media, Instagram. And so, yeah, if somebody wants to speak to me about it, we'd first of all have a kind of a chat for about half an hour, just to see whether or not I would be the right person to help them. And then I would either suggest one, if it was somebody that I could help, then I would offer them either a one-to-one or access to the group program, either live with the live calls or on their own, or a one-to-one with the group program. There's lots of different things now that I can offer them.
Mm.
And they can either have a one-to-one session, which you have one session and that lasts for 3 weeks. You have to listen to a recording after you've done the session, to because 21 days is the minimum to listen to something to make changes, apparently. So I make a bespoke recording for people who've had their hypnotherapy to reinstall more positive and more productive thoughts for them, for their future, for them as they are now. So you don't just reframe their belief system. You also help them to input. It's almost like putting your phone back to factory settings, or updating your phone with a new update, iOS update.
What is it? So it's resetting our mind. It's a mind reset. Is that what we're saying? But
Yeah, yeah.
why 21 days?
I honestly don't know. It's a minimum of 21 days. Although I've known clients to work with me on a one-off, and then I've given them the bespoke recording, and they have honestly said after 4 weeks, when I've done the review, they've not hardly listened to it.
Oh wow. Okay.
But it is quite good to get it into your system to have the 21 days.
Mm.
I think it's something. I think it's something to do. It's something to do with habits. Everything that we do is a habit. So, you tie your shoelaces. Don't even think about how you tie your shoelaces. You've learned it at one point, and then it becomes something that you've done that many times. Obviously, if you can tie your shoelaces, because there are people probably can't tie shoelaces nowadays with all the Velcro. But at one time, you used to tie your shoelaces that many times that eventually it became an unconscious process. So you didn't even think about it, and that's when it becomes a habit. So, and sort of, driving your car. When you first started learning to drive, you've got all these different things to do. You've got to put your foot on the clutch, foot on the accelerator, the brake, use the gearbox, steering wheel, indicator. There was so much to learn. And now when you get if you learn to drive and you pass your test and you've been driving for a few years, you don't even think about it. You just get in it and drive it. If you've got a PIN number that you use on a regular basis, you remember it by putting your fingers on you don't even think about it, you just do it. So everything is a habit, and it becomes a subconscious habit, and that is how the subconscious takes on these beliefs. It keeps telling. So say you have got a problem standing up in front of people, and you don't know why, you're just frightened. It really frightens you. You've got stage fright. then you can look back at and see where that came from. And it's often, your mind is there to protect you. It wants to keep you safe, well, and protected. So if you said at one point you got up in class and you made a mistake and everybody laughed at you because you got it wrong, whatever you answered, the question was, answered badly by yourself, and you ended up sort of feeling like, if I go and stand up, I'm going to get ridiculed. I'm not going to do that again. That's really bad, and I'd rather die than do that again. Then your mind remembers that, and it will keep you away from standing up in public or doing anything that
Oh,
might
I
be.
see.
It's actually feeling like it's going to be dangerous for the mind.
Mm,
So it's an outdated belief, because
mm.
obviously when you get to be a grown up and you want to stand up and talk in public, all of a sudden you've got this fear that you don't want it anymore. So you've got to go back and reframe that belief, find out where it came from, and go back and work through it and help, reframe that, so you
I
can
mean,
stand up and do what you need to do.
you gave a great example. So, I mean, that means that therapy can actually help someone. For example, if I play the drums, but the first thing about playing the drums was trying to get all my limbs to work independently. That is probably the most difficult thing. So if I had therapy, would it be able to help me do that, or is it something that it's not really for that type thing?
No, I think it's more of a for therapy with it's more for helping you get out of a habit that you don't really want anymore, rather than from a habit that you want to get. So the only way that you can get better at playing the drums is by repeating it. So
Yeah.
it becomes part of your habit that you do. That's why people who are brilliant sports people, it's because they practice so many times, it's become second nature. They don't even think about, they're so focused on the end result and wanting to get it perfect, that's what they keep practicing until they've got it.
It's
And
like
it can
muscle
help.
memory.
Hypnotherapy can help with sports people. It can help them succeed in, if they want to go that extra, they want that extra focus. It can help them, people play a better golf game. It can help people, all sorts. Footballers have been, a whole team has been hypnotized and helped to become a better playing team, that sort of thing. So,
What would you say to the people who say, "Oh, this sounds a bit like a witchcraft type thing"? What would you say to those type of people, the skeptics?
come and try it.
What?
Yeah, it does sound it sounds like, when I first started listening to the fact that you can help somebody physically, it sounds like it's a bit woo woo. I mean, I've helped a client get out of a toxic relationship. I've worked with her 3 times. So the first time was she felt so anxious, so I helped her with her anxiety. That worked really well. So then she wanted to work on being still engaged in a toxic relationship, so I helped her with that. And then the third time, I helped her to attract her ideal man.
Check you out. This is so.
She's
This is
now
all.
married with a baby.
So, oh my God! So
with
how
the
does
man
with
with
the
the man
man?
that she described. Yeah, I even got her to tell me, everything about this person that she wanted in her life. I asked her for the qualities, and this person ticked all of her boxes.
So hold on a minute. So you basically you changed her mindset. Is that what you did?
Yeah, you just because when you think about something, if you think about somebody's mindset of being negative, then all they see is everything around them, the negativity of it.
Mm.
So
Hey, Lynn. Lynn,
it's yes.
I got a couple of women out there who I really like, but they really don't like me. I'm going to send them to you. Just tell them, black guy, tall, black guy, handsome. Yes, you're going to meet him soon. Oh shit, I shouldn't say that. That's going to kill. I'll cut this out. Yeah, I'm not going to cut this out. My God, no, that's absolutely brilliant. So basically, you're helping people, you're helping women get along the way, and you can help them in relationships and all something. So the business itself, how long has it been going?
It's been going for a year.
Okay. Oh, so it's quite new. It's quite new.
Yeah.
And what's your progress? What's your progress like? What's your target audience? And with, like we say, you get them from Facebook and things. Are you more referrals person, or do you have to put out ads to get?
No. It's weird actually because people come to me from all different places. That yes, there are people that get referred to me, but a lot of people just resonate with what I'm saying, and they come to me because they're attracted to my message, and I think that's the way I want to work, is sort of giving out the message. I'm doing a 3-day sleep challenge at the end of this month on the 24th to the 26th of March at 7 o'clock on a Facebook Live, and it's for an hour from 7 till 8, and I'm helping people to have a more restorative sleep, helping them to actually go into a deep sleep and wake up refreshed rather than have a disturbed sleep, or some people can't sleep properly, can't get off to sleep and whatever. So
I'm
that's my
guilty.
challenge.
Guilty.
That's my challenge.
When is the? Are you planning to do these monthly or weekly or quarterly or something? Because obviously I won't be
What
able to meet.
the challenge? The
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
I'm doing that just as a one-off to see how it goes,
Right.
and then see what people want. But it's a side effect of my hypnotherapy, is the fact that first of all, when I work with somebody, I send them a recording to help them relax and get used to my voice.
Okay.
And before I've even seen them, they feel better and they get better night's sleep already before they've even seen me. So
That's good. You're probably bored the fuck
yeah,
out of
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Bore them to tears.
it. Oh, God. Okay, so where do you plan to take this then? Where do you plan to take your business? Because it's fresh, it's new. What do you want to
Yeah.
do with it? How do you want it to grow? Where do you want it to grow? And what do you want to do with it? What's the ultimate goal? I like to ask you these questions. They came out just like that.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to have lots of people who've succeeded in having a more calm, peaceful life, really. I feel like my goal is to just have more people come see me and get the benefits, and in that will mean that I also benefit.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But I
So
mean, I could do it for free, but then there would be no investment from the people I'm working with. If they haven't got an investment in it, then there's a likelihood that they won't really do the work. There's nothing to do. I'm not saying that there's a lot of work for a client to do, to be quite honest. I mean, let's face it, if they're just laying there and having the hypnosis, it's really quite relaxing. But, there has to be an investment, really.
so do you have a price range? Uh, an individual to come to see you, or is it ad hoc?
Yeah, it really is. There is sort of a price of me doing one-to-ones for one session. But when I say one session, it's you have the consultation, you have the session, you have the bespoke recording, you have coaching for 3 weeks, and then you have a review to see how you're getting on. And so that is that. I mean, it's £600 for that, but in that the changes for the people, it's an investment that is life changing, and it
Mm,
doesn't just affect the person that you're working with. The
mm,
people around them are affected as well. They are massively grateful and often end up coming and seeing me themselves because there's something they need to deal with. So um, it's definitely not just the person that you're helping that this is good for.
mm.
If they're a mother, then the kids that's going to benefit. If they're a husband or a wife, then the partner's going to benefit. So
Mm. Good stuff. What is the actual difference though between hypnotherapy and meditation?
meditation is basically you're just reflect. I mean, you can sort of go into meditation and do sort of a guided meditation, but you're not going anywhere specific with that. With
Right.
hypnosis, you're going to a specific scene that's, you're working with somebody that you're taking them to scenes to help them understand why their outdated beliefs are affecting them. So you're going back to scenes, or you're helping them understand that part of them is stopping them from getting on stage and doing what they want to do, or you're doing something a lot more productive. Meditation is more being guided into something that just helps them relax and helps them to sleep or whatever.
I
Does
love the
that
way you
make
did that.
sense?
Yeah, especially when you went guided into something. It's almost like you went into your job right there and then, bro. Oh, Lynn, where can we find you? Tell us about your social handles where we can find you.
Well, I'm called Transformazing, which is transform and azing. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I've got my own website, which is transformazing.co.uk. It'd be good to hear from anybody who's interested in just checking me out and seeing how I can help them.
Brilliant. And one day I might actually take it up. Okay, seriously.
You're welcome to try. I'd love you to try it, Peter. I'm sure you'd enjoy it. It'd be something you'd probably be able to use in your material.
I've had therapy before, relationship therapy, but that's on a different level, on a different subject altogether. But we'll talk about that another time. Lynn, thank you very much for being on Entrepreneur Insights. Like I said once again, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope
a pleasure talking to you.
Well, please like and subscribe, and check the bio for the next interview on Entrepreneur Insights. I've been Peter Francis. Take care of yourselves.